Hello, it's Bob Pandolfo. It's Saturday, January 20th, 2024. I have some analysis for the NFL Divisional playoff games. Here's on my website. My picks are on this page, NFL bets. And my best bet was the Chiefs-Bills game. I like the Chiefs. I got 3 points yesterday. Some lines have it at 2.5, some have it at 3. I was only able to get 2.5 in a teaser, so I got 12.5 points in a teaser. So I teased two favorites, Ravens, where I'm getting a half a point, the 49ers, where it's even, it's a 10-point teaser, and then I have the Chiefs with 12.5, and then I bet $50 on on my bets here on the Chiefs plus three. So I mean, if you look at the games this weekend, I think it's pretty obvious that the two favorites, the biggest favorites, the Ravens and the 49ers, are going to be tough to beat. But it's kind of tough to lay the points because these two teams are improving young teams. The Green Bay started out the season, they were terrible. I mean, if you look, they lost. They won 2 out of their first 3 games, but then they went into a tailspin. 1, 2, 3, 4 straight losses. But Jordan Love, the young quarterback, this was his first full season. He just kept getting better and better. He's playing very well. And of course, Houston has Stroud, who's their rookie quarterback, who's been having a sensational year. Here you can see, one of the best rookie seasons for a quarterback. And they're a young team, and both of these teams, Green Bay and Houston, have young, good offensive players. I think the favorite's going to win. I think San Francisco's going to win, and I think Baltimore's going to win. It wouldn't surprise me if they, cover. It wouldn't surprise me if they blow them out. Green Bay, I think, their biggest problem against the 49ers is their defense is very inconsistent, and sometimes it's terrible. And the 49ers, they can do everything. They can run the ball, pass the ball. I mean, they're going to control the clock. So, but I think, I just don't have a strong feeling to bet those games except for in teasers. The Detroit-Tampa Bay game is an interesting game. I mean, if I was going to bet this game, I would lay the points because I think Detroit's offense is just so strong. Tampa Bay's an odd team. They have talent, but, they're very inconsistent. They have, good wide receivers. They have a fine defense, actually. Their defense ranks pretty well. But Detroit's offense is so well coached, and they have a good offensive line, and their defense isn't terrible. I mean, they're surprising in some areas. Like if you look at the scores, they don't allow a lot of points, really. It's not like they score a lot of points, but it's not like they get blown out or anything. So, I mean, it's not, their defense has come around pretty good. But anyway, let's get down to the game that is my best bet. Now, if Buffalo didn't have all these injuries, I think this would be a very closely matched game. I would give Buffalo, make them, if they didn't have all these injuries, I would say they would be like a 3.5 to 4 point favorite at home because they do have a home field advantage, and this is a tough place to play in Buffalo, so it's a good home field advantage. But I mean, the injuries that they have, I mean, I put this in my analysis. I mean, their starting cornerback Christian Benford is out. Their safety Taylor Rapp is out. Linebacker Balin Spector is out, and he's a good tackler. Wide receiver Gabe Davis is out. The punter Sam Martin is questionable. They're starting punter, and they have 2 cornerbacks who are also questionable, and their best tackler, linebacker Terrell Bernard, is questionable. So even if these guys play, they're not going to be 100%. I think where I see the real problem here is that it's not just that they're not going to be playing their best defensive player in each position, but the problem is the depth chart. If you're playing your second string linebacker, say, and as the game goes on, I mean, you have to substitute. You have to rotate. So then if you take him out, then you're putting in your third linebacker on the depth chart. And so and then you may even have some fourth depth chart players. If you have, assuming they have the players, which they probably do. You're going down. So every time you go down in the depth chart, the player you would think has less talent than the starting player. I mean, you have, your first player that plays that position, your starter is going to be the best, and your second string is going to be the second best, and so on. So this could create a problem. I mean, they could get tired. I would think. The Chiefs. It's not like the Chiefs' offense can't move the ball. And in the second half, I would think that Baltimore's defense. If you're going to play these guys that haven't been playing full time and try to keep them in the game all the time and not substitute, they're going to get tired. So you're going to have to substitute most likely, and then you're going to be down to players lower on the depth chart who aren't as fast and aren't as talented, and may not even know, be as sharp as far as knowing all the plays and everything because they're not playing all the time. I mean, look, the Bills have done a great job. They've had injuries all season, but this is really tough. Last week, I mean, that was a tough game. They played in cold weather. The field was hard. It's the problem, when you get a frozen field, and then a few players got hurt. So now, as far as the Chiefs, both of these teams have good offenses. It's just that the Chiefs, haven't scored a lot of points. They have problems in the red zone. They shoot themselves in the foot at times. Like I mentioned here, the Chiefs were ranked 9th in yards per game, and offensively, and the Bills were ranked 4th. But the Chiefs only averaged 21 points, 21.8, almost 22 points, which is 15th, whereas the Bills were 6th in points scored with 26.5. Defensively, though, I mean, the Chiefs have probably as good as defense as anyone in the league. I mean, they don't allow a lot of points. I think it was 17.5 points they gave up. They're solid all the way around. They have good cover guys. Their cornerbacks are very good. They have a good defensive line. So, and the thing is, I think their offense is a bit underrated. The thing is, you don't have to be great during the season at scoring points. You have to be good in the playoffs. And the thing is, I think they're meshing at the right time. One of their problems this year has been their wide receivers. But now they have this rookie, Rashee Rice. His last 2 games, he had 13 receptions for 257 yards. So he's, peaked at the right time, and he's trying to mesh with Mahomes. And of course, they have speed, too. That's the odd thing about the Chiefs. I mean, their offense has struggled at times, but they have a lot of fast players. They just have been kind of out of sync all season. But I think with the speed they have and Buffalo's defense being so banged up, I think they're going to have them running around the field. They'll move the ball around. They'll throw it to the backs. Of course, they'll be throwing it to the great tight end too. And I just think they're going to even if they're not winning by a clear margin after the first half, if it's close, I think in the second half they'll wear down the Chiefs because of all the injuries. So that's just the way I see it. The Chiefs do have a home field advantage. They probably overall have a better offense, but I think the defense is now, the Chiefs have their strong defense is pretty much intact, and these injuries I think are really going to hurt Buffalo. So anyway, that's my analysis of the playoff games, and we'll enjoy the games, and thanks for listening, and remember to subscribe to my channel so I can make more videos. Thanks.